Today we are going to talk about adding numbers up to 1,000 without regrouping. So you have already learned how to add and subtract up to 100. You have also learned the place value of numbers up to 1,000. So we're going to use those skills to help us when we add numbers that are larger than 100. So our sum is going to be over 100 today. So let's start with this problem. Our two add-ins are 235 and 162, and we want to find the sum. We have been using base 10 blocks already this year, so I'm going to show you how we can start with using base 10 blocks, and then we'll move to drawing it and using expanded form. So we're going to start by representing each add-in. So this is 235. So we know our red pieces represent hundreds. So we have 100, 200. We know our rods, so these are our flats. Our green pieces are our rods. They represent 10. So I can see 10, 20, 30. So I have 230. And then our ones, or our single units, represent the place value of 1. So I have represented each part of my add-in. I've represented 200, 30, and 5. And I can even put those values underneath it if that is something that would help me. Those equal 200. Our flats, we have rods that equal 30. And we have the single units that equal 5. So our expanded form is 235. We are adding on the add-in of 162. So I need one flat to represent 100. I need 6 rods to represent 60. And I need 2 ones, or 2 single units, to represent 2. So this should be the expanded form of 100, 60, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 61, 62. So this should be 162. So we'll go ahead and put its value down here, which we'll look at how to add with just those values in a minute. So to add means to combine. And it means to combine like values. So we're going to put our hundreds together, our tens together, and our ones together. If we put our hundreds together, we have 100, 200, 300. So this becomes 300. If we put our tens together, our rods, we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. And if we put our ones together, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that gives us the expanded form of 300 plus 90 plus 7, which we already know from that place value unit that 390 plus 7 is 397. So our sum is 397. Now I just showed you how to use this with base 10 blocks, and this is actually an activity that you can do with your practice today. It is on your choice board, so if you want to use the base 10 blocks this way, you can. Let's transition and look how you can do a different strategy without having to do the computer or use the computer. So again, if I look at the same add-ins, I can make a place value chart. I can have this be my ones place value, this be my tens place value, and this be my hundreds place value. I know from the video already that we've said 100 is a flat. It represents a flat. The 10 is the rod, and the 1 is the single unit. So again, if I want to add, I want to combine like things. So if I have 235, I would represent that number first. So I've got 235. And then if I want to add 160 to 162, Then I can combine and do it by like values. So 100, 200, 300. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so I can see my combined value from what we know about place value is the sum is 397. The last way I want to show you is if you don't want to draw pictures and you want to represent it by value, this is called expanded form. So this might be a way that you might choose to add. And what you do is you just break apart or decompose the numbers, kind of like what we did here. We represented 200, we represented 30, and we represented 5. The expanded form of 235 is 200 plus 30 plus 5. If I want to add it or combine it to 162, I represent 162 by 162. And then I can add this up by saying 5 plus 2 is 7, 30 plus 60 is 90, and 200 plus 100 is 300. And if you see, I get the exact same answer. So I can do it by drawings or I can do it by expanded form. So let's go ahead and do one more problem. And actually, we're going to just do it right here on this board, and I won't show it on the computer this time. But again, you can use the computer for practice if you would like to use it for base 10 blocks. So let's model the problem 428 plus 341. We've got our two add-ins and we are looking for our sum. So again, if I want to do it drawings, I'm going to represent with my place value chart, ones, tens, and hundreds. I know that my hundreds are my flat, my tens are my rod, and my ones are my units. So for 428, I've got 400 represented. I've got 20 represented. And now I am representing my 8 ones. For 341, my second add-in, 100, 200, 300, 40, so I need 4 tens, and 1 1. And I'm going to combine them because we're adding. So we're putting our like units together to combine. So I have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700. I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 6 tens, so there were 60. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ones. So if I put my expanded form together, my sum should be 769. We talked about expanded form, so again, you could choose to do with expanded form where we just represent the value, 428. So I would just write 428. We have 340 and 1, so I could do 340 and 1, and I could add them up. 8 plus 1 is 9, 20 plus 40 is 60, and 400 plus 300 is 700. We get the same sum of 769. The last problem I'm going to show you is going to be very quick. But I want to show you what happens when you have a 0 in a place value, just so that that doesn't trip you up today. So if I take 105 and I add 64, when I make my place value chart, we're doing everything the same, ones, tens, and hundreds. I have 100. I have no tens, so I just don't put anything there. And then I have 5 ones. I have 64, so I have no hundreds this time, but I have 6 tens, and I have 4 ones. So again, adding means combining like values, so 100 plus no other hundreds is 100. No tens plus 6 tens is still 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And then 5 ones plus 4 ones is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So my sum should be 169. For expanded form, there would just be no value in the tens here. So I would expand 105, 100 plus 0 plus 5. And then if it's 64, I'm adding no hundreds plus 60 plus 4. 5 plus 4, so 60 plus 4. 5 plus 4 is 9. 0 plus 60 is 60. And 100 plus nothing is 100. So our sum is 169. Now it is your turn today to practice adding up to 1,000. Our sum won't get over 1,000, but I want you to use either drawings or the expanded form to solve today's task.